Turn this light down. So this weekend I go and get my ingredients. I go and get my ingredients for my cookie business. Now this cookie business started by accident, really. I made some cookies for my sister's job. And in doing so, these people went crazy over the cookies, especially the plain oatmeal cookies that I make. They went absolutely insane over those cookies. So I started making the cookies on a regular. I started making the cookies a few times for her job. And then finally, they had me make cookies for one of their business meetings. So I made cookies for them, and then brownies. I added brownies to the mix, and then uh, I added brownies, and then before I knew it, they're talking about a cookie contract. So now I have a cookie contract with my sister's job. Well, it's kind of like not a real contract, but they're having me do what do you call that? Like actual events. Selling. I mean, having my cookies at actual events, which is a big deal. I mean, people eat my cookies from all the way from the 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 regular office people all the way to the IT department. So I've been working the cookies. When I drop off the cookies, people come and meet me at the car. They come meet me at my car to get the cookies. Like the whole office is showing up at my car to get the cookies. Hi, Ruxton, how you doing? Good morning. So I'm kind of surprised. I'm not surprised because I love to cook and bake stuff. Don't tell nobody I like to cook or anything. I don't want nobody to know. I don't want nobody to know this. Don't tell nobody. Um, I do like to cook and bake sometimes, not all the time, but my favorite thing to make is lemon cake and stuff like that. Lemon cake, brown butter, chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cookies, oatmeal cookies, ooey gooey bars, lemon bars, apple pie. Those are my top specialties and brownies. Thank you for subscribing, Jessica. Um, I love brownie. I love making brownies and stuff, and I love all that kind of stuff. And then I never thought about it being like a business or nothing like that. I never thought. I'm like, everybody makes cookies. I mean, everybody makes cookies. People make all kind of desserts nowadays and pastries and stuff. I mean, what in the world could I add to that? But there's also a special way I do things. It may be, it may seem like it's just a regular chocolate chip cookie, but it's the technique and it's how I do things. I do things differently. Me and my mother have been cooking and baking and stuff for a long time. We do things very differently. Even I mean down even down to you making a baked potato. I mean, baking a sweet potato. We take it to a whole nother level. I mean, a baked sweet potato, just not a baked sweet potato with us. Not that it's overly, with a whole bunch of stuff on there or nothing like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's about adding this certain kind of essence to the sweet potato that makes it just taste really, really good. And you don't even need all those marshmallows and all that kind of stuff. It's just how we do the sweet potato, how we do it, and it just tastes good. Oh, you and your mom. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like those wedding cookies. Let me tell you, my mama makes some of the, what happened was my mother going to church for years at at my grandma's church. There was a lady there, and she used to make these wedding cookies. It's like a butter. It's like a kind of like a butter almond like cookie or whatever, and then it's got all this powdered sugar on it or whatever. And this lady used to make them so much. I mean, she was killing it when she would show up. When they would have like the little after, I was about to call it after party. After church little bakery thing or whatever. That lady would be standing out there with her little table and all them white boxes, just a whole table of white boxes, and they had those wedding cookies in them. And man, them people would trip over themselves trying to get to them cookies, buying them by the boxes. They were so good. But right before that lady died, my mama inherited that recipe. And she only gave it to my mama because my mama and her had a good relationship, and she knew my mother loved to bake and all this kind of stuff. And so she passed down that recipe to my mother. And ever since then, my mama has not only perfected that woman's recipe, she perfected it. You know what I mean? She made it even better. That one time I took some of those cookies. Hi Hector, how you doing? I took some of those cookies to work. I took them to work, and the people about fell out. They said, "Oh my God." Oh, so much that people start ordering cookies from me and all that. It was just crazy. And I'm like, my mama's getting older. I'm like, she's not going to be making these cookies all the time like that. So you guys, this may be your last batch. And she really hasn't made hardly any wedding cookies and stuff lately because she's had surgeries and all that kind of stuff. So she kind of slowed down. But I'm also thinking about adding that recipe, those wedding cookies, to my little menu of cookies. Now, these are some messy cookies. These are not some cookies that you need to look pretty in or nothing like that. Because when that powdered sugar hit, it's all over your clothes. It's everywhere. But that's the fun of it. That's why people like it, because it's so good. You don't even care. You don't care that your whole face look like you've been on crack. Like you walked out the door and somebody gonna say, "Man, are you on that stuff?" That's how good it is. It's so good, you're not going to care about the powdered sugar on your clothes, none of that. You're going to be sitting in. Somebody told me they sat up in the bed and just enjoyed themselves, eating those wedding cookies, powdered sugar all over the place. They didn't give a damn. Had a good time. It's something when a cookie make you, uh, um, uh, invade your memories, make you feel good, all that kind of stuff. So, we love making those kind of things. We are just a different breed. When I make stuff, I go a whole different direction. I don't do what normal people do with their recipes and stuff like that. I go in a whole different direction, and so that's why things taste much, taste way better or way different than other people. I know people can make all these things and all this kind of stuff, but it's a certain way I make these things. It's a certain way I make these things. And I know it's good because people will call me and ask me for these things, and I tell them, hey, like when I make lasagna, my lasagna's killer. The lasagna is killer. And when I make it, people call me, when you making it again? Okay, but it's so expensive, I don't make it that often. I don't, because I buy quality stuff. I'm buying quality stuff to make it, so it costs a lot to make that kind of stuff. So I don't make it that often. But, people want to pay me to make it, I make it. But You know, we just do things different. My mama's a pastry chef. She's had an interesting life. When she was younger, she was just baking. She was a hairstylist, and then on the side, you know, she made pantyhose. Not actually make the pantyhose, but she would decorate pantyhose, put the little bows on the back, you know, all that little accessories to the pantyhose and designs and stuff like that. Put on rhinestones on the pantyhose, all that kind of stuff. And then on the side, she would bake cakes for people's birthdays. She would bake all kinds of cakes, Barney cakes, all kind of stuff. She would do. I remember she did a Cabbage Patch cake. It was so cute. All that stuff she did when she was younger, baking cakes and stuff. And then she worked for the government. She had a government job, and she used to feed the people at the job. You know, feeding those people at work all the time. Oh, you made cookies? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, my mama used to feed everybody at work, always bringing in food, and people love that. So, and then eventually, as she got older, she left the government and stuff like that, and she started teaching Zumba, teaching line dancing, and all that kind of stuff. She did all that, and but on the side, she always made desserts, cookies, and stuff like that. And so it was a no brainer for her to become a pastry chef. So she bakes all kinds of stuff, and I've learned a lot from her over the years. You know how to make things taste really, really good. You selling your cookies? Yes, I'm selling cookies. I don't know about shipping no cookies right now. I had to get back with y'all on that. But yeah, I learned a lot from my mama how to make things really taste good. I mean, actually taste good. Actually taste good where you just like, God, this is so good. And I'm old school, so uh um I used to be around when Roslyn Bakery used to be around. When Roslyn Bakery used to be around, man, that stuff was so good. That stuff was so good. I hate that they kind of went out of business in a way. I mean, they still make stuff, but it's nowhere near the same quality as what they used to make and sell at their bakeries. Ain't nowhere near the same. So I know a thing or two about good, good tasting things. You know, Edmund's Bakery used to make those rum cakes and all that kind of stuff. So, I know what good stuff tastes like. And so, um, when we bake these things, we go all out. We go all out when we bake these goods and stuff like that for people. So it was a no-brainer. I didn't think it was going to turn into a business, to be honest. I did not think that I was going to actually be selling cookies. I did not think I was going to be selling no damn cookies. My mind was set on other things like um, YouTube, my other YouTube channel teaching seniors how to use the technology or um, um, just other things, just apps, building apps and stuff like that. I really wasn't thinking about selling no cookies. I wasn't thinking about that. But I make dinners too all the time. I think it all started from me also making dinners for people. Making dinners and all that kind of stuff and making all these um I don't know, just different things. And so now I'm here just selling cookies. I think it's interesting. So when I'm not working, that's what I'm doing. I am making and baking and selling the cookies and the brownies, apparently. Now, added that. So, it's just interesting how one little thing can change everything. One little change. If my sister hadn't asked me to bake cookies for her job, I wouldn't be going in this direction. She asked me to bake them. I did. They became a hit, and so now it's a thing. You know, now it's a big thing. So I'm happy about that. Uh, but now I got to come up with, and you know the funny thing is, people like plain oatmeal cookies. I did not know that. I think that's so weird. When I say plain, I mean no raisins in them, no nuts, no, I love to have my oatmeal cookies. I like to see you sound funny. I I like to make oatmeal cookies with 3 different kinds of raisins, nuts, all that kind of stuff. And these people, they want plain oatmeal cookies. No, nothing in them at all. I think that's so crazy. I have never heard of that. Uh, Good morning. I'm great, Reginald. How you doing? I had never heard people liking plain oatmeal cookies, but hey, whatever sells at this moment. Whatever sells at this moment. So that's what I'm doing. I'm happy about it. Now I got a logo that I'm going to be doing and packaging and all that kind of stuff for my cookies. And that's about it. I didn't think it was going to go this far, but here we are. Now I got to do a cookie menu. I got my food handlers certificate. Okay, I got my food handler certificate because now I'm going to be at a bazaar, bazaar in December, and I'm going to be selling my cookies, there at the bazaar. This is my first, event, actually just selling the cookies to the public. People public. So we'll see how that goes, Now I know, now one thing, there are some things my mother wants me to sell